We're excited, man. Thank you guys for listening last week.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot, obviously, because we just started, but it was more than I expected, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. But now we're going to talk back to sports, you know?
Yeah, we need to get into sports. A lot of news, man, a lot of news. And for us, some of this stuff might come in live. I got my phone ready to go. The big thing is trade deadline is tomorrow, Tuesday. We film on Monday, spoiler alert. So you guys will hear this around Wednesday, but for us, it's coming in brand new. We'll give you our live reactions to it if anything comes up during the pod. So should we get right into it for the?
Yes. There's an elephant in the room, and it just happened about an hour and a half ago, and it's for our dearest Tampa Bay Rays, and it's a trade, and it's a buying trade for a starting pitcher. Just off the bat, none of us predicted this person. Terrible podcast, if you ask me. But here's the trade. It's a one player for one player. It is right-handed pitcher Aaron Civale from the Cleveland Guardians coming to your Tampa Bay Rays in exchange for first baseman from AAA Durham, Kyle Manzardo. So let's get some. Joel, what are you thinking right off the top of your head?
All right, so there's a lot of things I like about this trade. Civale, he's a workhorse. He's going to eat up innings in our rotation. He has gone every fifth day. I have him in my fantasy team, so I've known about him for a while now. It's only until today that I learned how to pronounce his last name. I always thought it was Civale, but I like him a lot. But for me, I didn't know I was going to be the first one to open up, so I'm just going to have to put a little wet blanket on this. This feels like more of a bandage than an improvement. We weren't getting much out of Taj, but we were getting enough. Like Taj, he was on the team. Just recently, we dropped Taj to bring him up. So I would say, as far as Rays trade priorities go, starting pitcher was probably third on my list. So I'm not extremely happy about this, but it's something. For me, I'd say my biggest want was a closer. I'm still praying for that Scott Barlow and Salvador Perez trade. So hopefully that's coming by tomorrow.
Maybe it is.
So
and then you're gonna wake up from your dream.
So yeah, like that's the biggest need. I'll make this quick, but going into the ALDS, let's say we make it there, where it's a 2-run game. Do you guys really right now, in your heart of hearts, feel comfortable with Pete Fairbanks and Jason Adams of this year?
Yes.
For playoffs, yeah, I'd say
no.
I feel comfortable. Yeah. I agree with you in that aspect. I think I would love like a true closer. I think, I guess to jump ahead a little bit, I think we both said, you and I, Joel, that we wanted David Robertson from the Mets. Didn't get him, but there's still time. Again, we have just about 24 hours to go for the trade deadline. I still feel confident, and I think the big thing is with this is you take a little bit of pressure off the bullpen. You take a lot of pressure off of Taj because Taj Bradley, the Rays.
Because he's in AAA, baby.
He's in AAA. The Rays sent him down for this roster move and added reliever Ryan Thompson, who we've seen a lot of in the past. So, yeah, I think it helps pitching overall. My thing is that I'm more worried about with your scenarios, and if there was a 2-1 ball game, I'm not worried about the pitching at all. I'm worried about do we have the right bats to take the lead if we're down.
Let me refresh your memory from a couple weeks ago when we were playing Houston last time, and the casual wild pitch that just lost us the game. Or how about the Pete Fairbanks blown save from like a couple nights before that?
That's true. He blew two the week coming in. But
when it's a high pressure situation, which is the definition of the playoffs, I wouldn't trust them with a 6-foot pole. Remember Pete Fairbanks in that chilly arm situation?
That is true. That is probably my biggest concern is the whole Pete Fairbanks and his finger. That's why I think it's so crucial that we have got to leap the Orioles. We have got to get home field advantage for the playoffs.
If we win, the problem is solved pretty easily there.
You can win every game and have Pete close every game in the Trop and not have to worry about anything. However, we need to get back to our accusation, and that would be Aaron Civale, right? So Aaron Civale was on the injured list earlier this year, but ever since coming back, he has been a flamethrower. Not literally, he doesn't throw that fast, but his numbers have been fire. Civale over the season has a 2.34 ERA, a 1.04 WHIP, which is phenomenal for a starter. 58 strikeouts, 22 walks. When I look at Aaron Civale, he reminds me so much of Zach Eflin. So basically, their pitch mix and their miles per hour and everything like that is very similar. So Civale throws a cutter 39% of the time, and that's averaging about 88 miles per hour. He throws a fastball that he splits between a four-seam and a sinker that averages about 92 miles per hour. He throws a 26% of the time he throws a curveball, which I think we'll get into later isn't one of the most elite pitches in baseball. Actually, the Rays have the top 2 curveballers in the league right now with Tyler Glasnow and Aaron Civale. And then he mixes in a slider and a changeup in there 5% of the time. But his main 3 are the cutter, fastball, and curveball, which is very similar to Zach Eflin, and we've seen this type of success he's had with the Rays.
Yeah, we've seen he's not going to get you a lot of strikeouts, but he is going to get you a lot of outs. We're looking at his last start, which was not too long ago, it was July 30th. Against the White Sox, he went 6 innings, only allowing 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And the biggest thing, again, this is something I love the Rays do. They're always thinking about the future. The Rays have control of Civale until 2026. So we're not playing the 2-month game. We got him for many years to come. And it looks like right now, I mean, he's 28 years old. He is in the prime of his career, and he seems to be having his best year statistically. So
I mean, and just taking it back to July, he has 6 starts in July. He has a 1.45 ERA and 37 and a third innings pitched with a 0.8 WHIP, 25 strikeouts, and 7 walks. And I mean, there's only been one pitcher in July that's been better than him, and that's Blake Snell. And Blake Snell has been on a crazy tear. But
and Blake Snell will be on our team tomorrow.
future Ray?
Future Ray, back to Ray because he was left from the Rays? No. I don't know. I know Joel. I understand the qualms, if you will, with the lineup and the bullpen. I think something key to keep in mind when you're talking bullpen of the Rays is our former closer, Andrew Kittredge, who's been out since last year with Tommy John, if I'm correct, is slated to come back very soon, probably in August sometime in the next couple of weeks, which I think getting him back will be a huge thing. He's closed games before. He was an all-star in 2021. So having him back will, if we don't have Fairbanks available in the cold game or if he's off or something, Andrew Kittredge can close games for you. So I think getting him back is kind of what they're banking on.
Like no pressure or anything. It's just like, hey, Andrew Kittredge, we didn't make any improvements in the bullpen. Our bullpen has been scuffling time and time again throughout this season. And I know you just recovered from a major injury, so you mind just coming in and being our closer for the stretch run of the playoffs? Like that's not fair to assume that Kittredge can do that. So again, Scott Barlow, you haven't been good this season, but I like the ERA from the past, and we'll give you the Tropicana Field improvement on your stuff, and it'll be a great ride.
I think we all have a lot of bad memories from the bullpen in the earlier months, like May, like that New York trip. We all remember that
2 weeks ago.
But there really isn't. The bullpen's been really good recently. Obviously, these bad memories from recently have been because we can't hit. I mean, we've been in these close games where we've been behind, and every run is more magnified. But I think as the lineup's going to come back around, which we'll talk about with a special key in the cog of that lineup, learning how to hit again. His last name starts with Al, or rhymes with Al. But I don't feel as bad about the bullpen over the last 2 months or so as I did. And I definitely think with the injuries to Springs, with the injuries to Rasmussen, with how young and struggling Taj Bradley's been, we had to get a starter. I think that was our main priority. I think that, Neander spoke about it like a couple weeks ago, and I definitely think, to me, that was the main focus, the need that we needed to do, and we got one of the best on the market. I think this could end up being the best pitcher off the market this trade deadline if, Erod doesn't go.
Mm-hmm. So my last concern with this trade, and it's not so much a concern as much as it is just the nature and the fabric of our starting rotation, is our guys. We're a bit shaky. We have we're prone to injuries, so we're going to start watching the innings for a lot of our starters, and that's going to still be a tax on our bullpen. So this is a good Band-Aid, but as far as it salvaging what we have left of the bullpen, I don't think it's going to be as significant as we are hopeful as Rays fans.
I mean, the thing is, though, we still have 24 hours. There is still plenty of time for the Rays to make some moves. So I guess you might have answered it already, but if this was the only move they made for the trade deadline, are you satisfied with that?
Let's do something else. Let's give it a grade, like a class grade.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give it a solid A, not A plus, an A, because again, he's not a household name really, as you'd say, but he's somebody who the Rays can work with, and they didn't give up a whole lot because he lost a left-handed power batter, but we still have Aranda, who has shown that he can be a solid hitter at first base. So, I'm not too upset with getting rid of Mazzardo. So yeah, I'll give it an A.
I will give it a B plus, and I would go A. But the reason I'm going to go B plus is something that's coming down the road. We all know that Tyler Glasnow was signed to a 2-year contract extension before this season, and it was a great thing. We all thought we were going to trade him last year, but Glasnow, he is signed for $25 million on the books for 2024, and we all know that Stu Sternberg is not going to pay him that, so he's getting traded. This is the final nail of the Tyler Glasnow 2024 story. So I'm glad that we replaced him with a guy like I wish we replaced him with Scott Barlow. With a guy like Andrew Civale. So I'll give it a good grade because he is a very formidable replacement for our 2024 Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, I think with what the Rays have been doing recently, I think it still remains to be seen with Glasnow. I definitely think Glasnow loves to be with the Rays, and I don't know if he's going to ask for an outlandish contract. But I understand with the past with the Rays and with just what his name is and how polarizing he is and how much money he could potentially ask for because of how much good pitching costs. But back to our thing, I'm going to give it an A-. I was between that and a B+, but I really do like this move. I think a lot of people were sad to see Manzardo go. I don't really see it. He's currently on the injured list, first of all, so he was not helping us this season. And right now in Durham, he's batting .238, 11 home runs, 38 RBIs with a 784 OPS. I think he could be a really good player. But I just think with the Rays, there's so much prospect depth in the infield position, especially first base. Because, I don't think Yandy Diaz is still signed for 2 years after this year. He's not going anywhere. We know Isak can slide over to first base. Aranda could be a viable first base option. There's a prospect behind Manzardo who's not going to be coming up for a couple more years named Xavier Edwards, who projects to be a very good, even probably projects to be better than Manzardo. So I'm not really heartbroken about Manzardo. I hope he succeeds. Nothing against him. But I'm not really heartbroken about that package we gave up. And the control, I think, is what brings it up to an A- as opposed to a B+. And I really do think the Rays are going to do special things with Aaron Civale. And another thing, you guys can butt in, but I think not getting a bat is not as detrimental as we might think, because I know the last month has been rough. It's been a rough time. However, our stars have been playing bad. There's no bat on the market, especially with Bellinger, no Juan Soto. No bat that has been moved is a better bat than one of our stars. There's no bat that's better than Yandy Diaz. There's no bat than better bat than Wander Franco. There's no better bat than Randy Arozarena. There's no better bat than Brandon Lau when he's right. So in order for us to succeed, we are going to have our stars play well in the playoffs and down the stretch. So I don't think getting an extra bat for the 8 or 9 hole is not really going to change that. So that's why I'm not really heartbroken about not getting a bat. Would I have enjoyed it? Maybe. If it was Cody Bellinger, maybe that's different. If Juan Soto, if the Padres had not swept the Rangers and had a bad week and Juan Soto's on the market, maybe. But I can't be mad about not addressing the bullpen and the starter, or the bullpen and the lineup with the knowledge I know. And I'm happy they got a starter. I was concerned that they might not go get a starter. I'm just very happy they got him, and such a good starter. So that's what I think.
And again, there's more time as we're talking right now.
We got about 24 hours.
Monday night, we have over 24 hours around.
No, a little less. 22-ish.
A little less. It's like 6 p.m. or something.
Yeah.
So there's still time for us to get a bat, but we just really need a bat. Like I try to be optimistic, but I recently got the nickname on the show. This is the first time you hear it. I am the Sting Dre. So the Rays, we're always hoping for like the Cinderella story when we go into the playoffs. Like for 2008, it was just the perfect slew of all of our younger players who hadn't had postseason experience, just all coming onto the scene at the right time. And 2010 and 11, we really didn't have much going into those postseasons. Like great story in 2011, but other than that, we were out. And then 2020, we just rode Randy into the World Series, which was great. But I mean, we really have not ever had like a good postseason showing from our offense, and the last 2 years are given proof of that. Like, what did we score last year, guys, in that Cleveland series?
One run.
So,
well, however, 2021 was a little different. That was on the pitching. I'd say the DS against Boston. Pitching.
If you have the hitting though, you could forgive the pitching.
I physically went to a game where we got 6 runs in the first inning, and we didn't lose.
That was a heroic Cinderella story by what player?
Jordan Luplow,
Cinderella story.
Yeah.
So we can't keep writing out these Cinderella stories. We have to get an established hitter, somebody who has had postseason success. It's something that needs to happen sooner than later. And just knowing how the Rays operate and how they work, I don't see it coming. But if I do recall, Salvador Perez was a hero not too long ago.
He's not letting go of this one, guys. He wants Salvi, man.
And there's a large Latino community within our Rays team. So Salvi could be that father figure that I very, very truly believe that we need. And get this, he can keep that captaincy.
Yeah, we'll give it to him
when he comes over to the Rays. So let that happen in the next 24 hours, Stu Sternberg. You heard me right here. Give up the whole AA team for that. Prospects don't mean anything to me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take Joel's side on this. I still think you have to look at last season and how disappointing it ended and how all the bats died at once. And again, we have plenty of star power, like you said, Colby. And when those guys are hot, I mean, this team, I think, is the best in baseball. I don't think there's anybody better. But you still look at last postseason, and it was terrible. And I just think there's really nobody on the market as of right now that you're going to get that's going to be a better hitter than anybody we have on the roster, but it's just kind of just having another spark plug, I think. Somebody who's going to motivate the team and maybe when they're slumping, take them out of it, because I feel like a lot of times this team, if one guy's slumping, they're all slumping. And I don't want to see another 2022 postseason, and I hope it doesn't happen. And I still think, if you go into the postseason with this roster now without any changes, we don't know, and hopefully they do well. But I would like, I guess, what's the word? Like, I'd be pretty comfortable to just get one guy. My guy last week was Cody Bellinger, and he's off the market, so that's a little unfortunate. But I was thinking, I don't know if they trade in division, but the Red Sox, Adam Duvall. He's sitting there. That would be a good outfield piece. DH type guy. Just somebody. You just have somebody new coming in. And just, again, I like the late lineups, and I think that's so dangerous when you get the postseason time, is to have late lineup guys making an impact. And I think right now we don't have that. And especially, like Joel mentioned, I wasn't too hot on Salvador Perez, but now I think more than ever, if we had him or just another catcher we pick up, that would be a huge improvement, because it's like 7, 8, 9. It's just kind of a wasted inning for the Rays at sometimes. So yeah, I think a bat would be very big. Just doesn't have to be a superstar, and it won't be, but just somebody who can maybe be a little bit of light at the end of that lineup there.
And with a lot of these teams saying that players are off the boards, like that's just them saying that so that a team, hopefully in this situation like the Rays, could come out and say, "Oh, he's off the board. Here's another prospect, or here's another piece." So I'm not the biggest guy to say like, "Oh, well, ESPN's off the board." Like we would have said that with other players in the past, and it's like, "Oh, he wasn't off the board." So I wouldn't believe that completely. Like if a big player came off the board tomorrow, it wouldn't come as a shock to me. So hopefully that big player comes off the board and goes to the Rays.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely your point with the players and off the board, it definitely could be used as leverage, or it could be them telling the truth. We don't know. However, I do know one thing. I would be heartbroken if we had a repeat of the 2022 postseason. That would suck. However, I think we're going to, unless you guys have something to add, I think we're going to move on from the trade, and we're going to just talk about this last week for the Rays, which this trade was adding on to our happiness because we actually had one of our first winning weeks in about a month, and we took a huge series in Houston. So we're going to recap it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
All right, we'll start off on Tuesday. That would be July 25th of last week. The Citrus Series, as they call it, the Miami Marlins came into town to Tropicana Field for a small 2-game series. And our first game, we had Tyler Glasnow on the mound, and he was lights out. He went 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run with 8 strikeouts and 2 walks. As far as the scoring side, in the bottom of the second, Josh Lowe, nice little single to center field. Brandon Lau scored. That was 1-0. Then we go in the second inning. Still, Yandy Diaz up to bat, gets a nice little double, 2-run score. The Rays were up 3-0. And then the third, kind of a little scary moment. A couple wild pitches. Wendell ends up scoring, so it's 3-1, and you get a little scared. They'll want the Marlins to come back after the Rays just got a nice early lead. But Glasnow locked it down for the rest of the game. And we didn't have anything until the 6th when Brandon Lau homered to right field.
I wonder who predicted that one.
Moonshot, 4-1, and that was it for the rest of the game. The Rays won that one, 4-1.
The next game didn't happen. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking
was there
about.
a game on Wednesday?
No, I don't know what
remember.
you're talking about.
Yeah, unfortunately, the success did not continue the next day. Zach Eflin on the bump, unfortunately, did not have a great outing, but I think we talked about last week, he's been an unsung hero for the Rays. And you know what? At the end of the day, everybody's going to have a bad game. It just happens, and that happened to Zach Eflin. Gave up a single in the second, double, so it was 2-0. Siri then in the bottom of the third gets us on the board 2-1, but then after that it was all Miami, and Eflin gave up 5 runs. Goes out after the 4th inning thinking that, well, he gave up a boatload of runs and some hits, so he's probably done, but looks like we might have an injury on the board.
They're saying he's good to go for tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
he's
we
scheduled.
shall see.
He's scheduled
He's
to pitch
scheduled
tomorrow.
to pitch, so that is the hope, of course, but he did go out with an injury there, so that's something to keep an eye on. Not much else happened in the game, unfortunately.
Sandy
The Marlins-
Alcantara gave me 32 points for
Yeah,
fantasy.
Sandy Alcantara has been struggling all year, and we were kind of joking about it, going, this is going to be his bounce back game against the Rays, and unfortunately, was Marlins win 7-1.
So we apologize for all of the jinxing that we did for that game.
And we're off to Houston for game 1 of a 3-game series against the Astros. Rays at Astros. We've seen this a lot in the last couple of years. 2019, 2020 playoff series. So this is a big game. Houston's coming off 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. The Rays are coming off a split in the Citrus series. So game 1, we started off first inning. Wander Franco off the wall, triple. Ball could have been caught, but it wasn't. Good to see him hit. We haven't seen that in a while. Then we get a walk down there. We get to 2 outs. And the man of the week comes up. 3-run blast, Brandon Lau. First inning, huge start. We're loving it. Shane McClanahan's on the bump. We're hoping for a bounce back start. And he's all right. He gives up a leadoff triple on a misplay by Jose Siri to Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve's brought in. It's 3-1. He's pitching all right. He's getting some whiff. He's looking like himself. And then we get to the top of the fourth inning. Top of the fourth inning, what happens is the Rays get the bases loaded with 0 outs. And surely they scored 1 run, right, guys?
Yep.
Nope, they didn't. They didn't do that. They were shut out that inning. And then immediately, as to what I said and jinxed, Joel was there. I said they're probably going to hit a 2-run home run to tie it right now after we didn't score with basically 0 outs. And they did that.
My grandma was like, look at that.
Yep.
They hit a 2-run homer.
Yep, that's what happened.
And then we saw it on our TV.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're living a behind world here with our TVs. So
streaming.
Jose Abreu, 2-run home run off McClanahan, ties the game up 3-3. Shane is able to get out of that fourth inning, get out of that fifth inning, and keep it tied. Decent start for Shane. He went 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 0 walks, 8 hits. We'll take it. Hopefully next he'll get back to his dominant self coming up against New York. So through this game, it became a bullpen battle. We got to through the 6th, through the 7th, through the 8th. Some great bullpen pitching from the Rays. Robert Stevenson looked great. Kevin Kelly looked great. Colin Poche looked great. The bullpen gave up 1 base runner that game. 0 hits, 1 walk for the bullpen in 4 innings that game. And the Rays actually came up with a big hit. Jose Siri, leadoff double in the 9th inning. Christian Bethancourt made contact, got him over. Yandy Diaz got him in. Peter Fairbanks closes the game out. Huge win for the Rays. Tomorrow, Saturday, did not happen. The Rays got smacked. We're not even going to talk about that. Isak hit 2 home runs, and Taj was pretty bad, and so was everyone else.
Wander Franco had a huge home run, too. Cut the lead to 13, so we thought they might have a chance.
Chris Paul moment
I
for Wander Franco.
I was pretty mad at Wander Franco in that game. I'm like, come on, you're losing 17 runs, and you finally have a good game.
Well, he was swinging the bat good this weekend.
And he had a good game on Sunday. Right?
Yes.
Tell me about Sunday.
Sunday, the Rays looking for a series win. One of their first series wins the first series win since the Royals. And first inning, they get the bases loaded out. Both bases loaded with 0 outs once again. Will they choke it? No, there's an error. Yandy Diaz, 1 run. But it would kind of stink if we only got 1 run. But it's 2 outs. It's not looking good. Josh Lowe, bang. Double into the corner. Clears the bases. 4-0 Rays. Then the Rays add on in the 4th. Yandy Diaz single. Brandon Lau single. Everyone's hitting. We're getting great contact off Brian Belak. Then the Astros cut it down to 6-2. It's a little scary. Wander Franco makes an exceptional play at short to keep that inning limited with a jump throw. That was amazing. And then we come right back, top of the 6th, 2-run home run, Brandon Lau. Oh my goodness, he's back. It feels like 2021 again. And the Rays end up closing that game out. They got 5 innings from Zach Littell, 3 from Erasmo Ramirez, and 1 from Jason Adam. And it was overall a great game. And that's this week in Rays baseball, baby.
Did anything stick out to you guys from the last 5 games? Something you want to bring up, or just something you liked and like?
I wanted to talk about Zach Littell. So, Zach Littell. It appears as if Zach Littell is going to be this year's Jeffrey Springs or this year's Drew Rasmussen. With Taj being optioned to AAA, and now that we have Civale, it still slates that Zach Littell will be our 5th starter. So, this is the first time Zach Littell has ever been stretched out on the Rays, I think ever in his career, to 5 innings. And he pitched really well. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 0 walks. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about this new thing for Zach Littell?
I'm liking it.
Go ahead.
I'm liking it. He's got the right name for it. Like, I'm like, Zach Littell's going out to the mound today to pitch for the Rays. Like, that sounds really good.
Huge development, though. He has a lisp. So, I don't know if that changes your guys' opinion on him, but he has a lisp. I was listening to him talk.
How dare you assume such little of me?
Okay.
I like him a lot. I'm looking forward to it. We do have a way with making these kind of like long bulk guys into good starters. So if this works out, I will commend the Rays for this late season clutch move.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'd still, again, I'd like to see a little more of them stretching them out. But I mean, as far as like your first big appearance playing against the Astros, World Series champs, go 5 innings, allowing 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. I mean, what more could you ask for? And that's only really the first time they stretch them out. So I'd love to see more, but I'm excited because, again, I think we've said it already. The Rays have a knack of turning some reliever guys into some solid starters. So we'll see how it goes. But
I like it a lot better than using Yanni Chirinos in that spot. So I'm like, ooh, okay, I didn't know he could do this. Cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
Zach Littell, just to the last 3 games, they've been stretching him out slowly. In his last 3 games, Zach Littell went against the Rangers, the Orioles, and the Astros. So that's 3 big hitters. 10 and a third innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. And that 0 walks thing spans all the way back to June 17th. Zach Littell has not walked a batter since June 17th, which spans 9 games, which I love. I hate walks. And like we already said, this is 2021. The Rays did this with Drew Rasmussen. It worked out very well. 2022, the Rays did this with Jeffrey Springs, and it's almost identical. They have a knack for it. They know what they're doing, so I trust them, and I'm glad that Littell is up for the task, man. That's about it. I'm happy. And as for Taj, I think he's too young. I don't think anyone should be too hard on him, but I just don't think he's ready to be a major contributor to a playoff team.
yeah, nobody should be hard on him at all. I mean, he got called up really early because of injury, and we touched on this a little bit last week. So you have to give him credit for what he did, but again, give him some more time to develop, which he needs. And I think the future is bright for him. I don't think this is the last we'll see of him for a while. I think he'll be back pretty soon, and probably very, very dominant in the 2024 season. So,
I think he could have a 2008 David Price type situation with the Rays where he comes back up, lights out, and he's a big part to a good postseason run for us.
Yeah, it's possible. So, do you guys have any specific things or players that stuck out to you in the last week? I got a couple, but I just went.
yeah.
I'm gonna go Wander. Like I was getting ready to start jumping off his boat. Like I'm like, bro, like
we all were, man. We were talking about it.
I'll throw myself under the bus first. Like I'm like, you see, like I'm blanking on the Reds phenoms guy name right now. De La Cruz. De La Cruz. I'm like, come on, Wander. Why can't you be more like De La Cruz? Just like come up and get your spot on ESPN every single night and just be really good. But I'm looking at his stats right now. So just for this Houston series, he went 4 for 11 and had 3 walks. So
that's good. Yeah.
I'm taking that. I'm taking that all day.
That's
so
great.
If this is a nice little stretch from Franco that could take us into the postseason, I'll buy your jersey, man. Like that's what I'll do.
I think in that second game against the Marlins, Wander Franco did like 3 like incredibly questionable things. Like he got doubled off on something that no one should ever get doubled off on. So for him to come back on Friday with a new attitude, with a new outlook, and play really good through the whole weekend is a great sign. Because like we talked about last time.
His base running has been rough. So if you can clean up the base running, Wander, like next time we're up here talking and you clean that up, I'll be thrilled.
I'm going to get really delusional here. So for those of you listening, let me have this delusion because I really want it. I think Brandon Lau is a podcast listener. I think he listened to our show last week and got pretty fired up because, and Colby, you called it, I mean, he went off last week. 3 home runs in the last 5 games. Was at 9 hits. I mean, he was just a dog. He was definitely the hero this week. And another shout out too, because we've known Pete Fairbanks in the past couple weeks, had a couple blown saves, but on Friday goes in.
It was nails.
1-run game. After we were tied, I mean that 9th inning was crazy. And again, shout out to Jose Siri as well for the base running. But yeah, to see Pete Fairbanks come in, Snake Eyes Pete, as we call him here, lock it down. I'd love to see it too. That's That's playoff performance right there, baby.
He only gave up one base runner that inning, right?
Yeah, walk. No hits.
That was the most impressive part for me. Like I wasn't sweating too bad that inning.
Yeah. Also, Brandon Lau, I think this is the most important stat. Like, obviously the home runs are great, but last week, 21 plate appearances, only 4 strikeouts.
Ooh, wow.
That's when we get Brandon Lau putting the ball in play. It usually is a hit or something good. So that's what I like to see. Also, a 940 OPS for Brandon Lau in the month of July. It's been one of our best hitters this month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see him come around. I'm gonna say one bad guy for this week, just quick. Randy had 0 hits last week.
Oh my god, it was good. I was thinking it was bad.
Yeah,
Not that bad.
And he hasn't had hits for a while. I think he's only had one, and that was against the Royals. Or no,
he's not been that bad, but
no, he was 0 for 12 after the All-Star break.
Okay.
I can't remember who he got his first hit against.
I know the stats don't back this up. I know in previous conversations you guys have gotten me for this, but I just want to be the first to say that, my friends, is the home run derby fall off.
yeah. No, I think Randy will be fine. He's definitely overswinging, and I honestly, the way he's swinging, it is a little bit home run derby hangover. But he's going to come around. He's definitely a streaky hitter, and what's made him so good this year is his hot streaks have been longer than his cold streaks. So I think we're due for a big Randy month this coming up in August.
He's just got to look at the tapes, figure it out, and we'll be all good.
One more thing, I want to say, Tyler Glasnow is killing it right now. 5 starts in July, 2.30 ERA, 43 strikeouts, 6 walks, a 0.91 WHIP. 31 and a third innings pitched. So
That is a tantalizing trade option in the 2023 offseason.
maybe not. Well, is he signed?
That's what I was saying. He's got one more year, $25 million, and we just traded for his replacement.
So yeah.
So I
And
mean,
maybe-
I'll take it. Like he's one glass injury away from being out forever. So
So
if we got his replacement, and you can put that $25 million into a hitter, I take it all day, every day.
Will, do you have anyone else you want to talk about, or you guys want to go do some Bucks?
I think it's time to fire the cannons.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right. So last week, Bucks training camp, it started. That means football is around the corner, and I think we're all happy to see that. We all are some avid football watchers. We love us some NFL, college, all of it. We love it. Going to games. I'm gonna get out to the swamp soon. You know what I'm saying?
Give me some of that XFL, North American Football League.
I don't know about that one, but so we're just gonna talk a little bit about Bucks training camp. So I think there's a couple big ones that we can think of. First of all, good news. Devin White, he practiced. And he was going 100%, doing everything they asked of him. He was a full participant, so it appears as if he will be fulfilling his contract and playing this year, which is a great sign for us.
Mm-hmm. Another good thing to see I guess on the injury side, but saw Shaq Barrett out there too as well, coming off of Achilles injury and also the loss of his daughter. So it's good to see him getting back into football, rocking number 7. Changes his number a little bit, so I'm excited to see his comeback.
Yeah, we're all rooting for you, Shaq. If you listen to this somehow, man, we're all big fans of you before this, and we're even going to be even bigger fans of you after the tragedy, man. You're such a big man to even keep playing football.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah. Another return that I'm really excited about is Ryan Jensen was back. He was not doing team drills. He was only doing individual blocking drills. But Todd Bowles says he was moving good. He looked good, and I love to hear that because he really he is one of the people that are genuinely the heart and souls of our ball team. So it's good to see Big Ginge back, baby.
Ooh, another one. Russell Gage was also seen practicing today. I forgot he was on the team, but he was out there rocking number 3. I saw on Twitter he caught a pretty nice pass for a touchdown. So I'd say we need him, man. I didn't really see a whole lot of them last year, but it would be nice to have extra threat out there in the receiving core.
Well, I know you want to talk about how you called Servache Dennis and his success.
Yeah, man, I talked about Servache Dennis last week, and so far from what I've seen, he's been getting a couple interceptions, making an immediate impact. And again, it was good to see Devin White practicing, but we don't know. We truly don't know what he's going to do. A lot of people say he's out there. He's out there to kind of avoid some fines for not showing up. So again, I love Servache Dennis, and I still think he's gonna be impact player this year. Another rookie that is turning some heads is Cody Mach. Looks like as far as a lot of the first team reps went, he was a starter there at guard, so that's a big thing. One thing I didn't like though on the other side of that is Luke Gedeke was playing right tackle, and from last year I didn't want to see any more Luke Gedeke. I know he's a rookie last year, but see him at right tackle, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I think
he's really small, right?
I don't know his size exactly, but that's kind of a big jump to go from interior to exterior like that.
Yeah. I think the guard position is one of the most intriguing position battles for the Bucs so far, because the two spots are wide open for first teamers, because you got 5 people competing for the spots. It's you got Robert Hainsey, Matt Feeler, Nick Leverett, Aaron Stinney, and Cody Mach. They're all 5 of them are all in the running for 2 of the guard spots, and it'll just be interesting. As Bucs fans, we want to see someone not just win it by the skin of their teeth, but we want to see people step up, because the offensive line was, I think, was the biggest problem last year. I know defensive line was pretty bad too, but it was hard to see, man. So to get some improvement on that front will be huge for the success of the 2023 season.
Yeah, we live and die by the offensive line. Like the quarterbacks we're going to be running out this year are more mobile, but even still, like you can't be letting the quarterback get hit each and every play. So to have an improvement on the offensive line would be one of the biggest factors of an overall improvement in the team this year.
Yeah, and I think there's 3 main position battles that we need to keep our eyes on. One is the obvious one. We're gonna talk
kicker.
about that last. Yeah, kicker. Yeah, no, we're gonna talk about that last. Oh, kicker maybe too.
I'm excited for
I'm pretty excited for that battle.
So here's who. Yeah, that's funny. Who I was going
to I heard the guy was making like 55 or
dude,
something.
that's good, because Suckup kind of had a noodle leg last year, man.
Dude, they were going like kick for kick.
Ryan Suckup is the best kicker in Bucs history, though, by the way.
He is. He just fell off last
year. But, okay, so one of the second biggest, we talked about guard, so we're going to move to the third cornerback. The Bucs drafted Josh Hayes, and then they had last year's rookie, Zion McCollum. Those are your 2 people competing for the third cornerback spot, because we no longer have Sean Murphy Bunting, if you guys remember. So we got Jamel Dean, we got Davis, we need the third corner spot. And that's going to be a really big position to watch, because like I said, for guard, we don't only want to have someone win it because the other one was bad. We want to see someone step up, either Hayes or McCollum, because that's a huge spot for that third corner. So
it looks like McCollum is kind of going into that role. He got an interception so far in the few days they've had at camp, and today it was reported that he was taking some first team reps. So
that's great.
It's good to see guys step up, like he said.
Yeah, because McCollum played last year and he struggled. But you know, second years, that's the biggest year to make a jump, man. So hopefully he does make that jump, and then Hayes is a good special teamer or a backup and good depth. But it's just that's an important position, and it's just something for us Bucs fans to watch. So we talk about quarterback for a little bit.
Yeah. I guess we can go around and kind of say, who we think is going to be the starter. We can also go who we want to be the starter. I know there might be some bias here on one side.
I don't know who.
Room.
Maybe the guy who said he wanted to go back to the swamp or something. I don't know who'd be biased though.
Yeah, but Joel, who do you like?
I mean, Kyle Trask was some fun Gators days.
Dude, that is the most, oh man, every time Kyle Trask had the ball in college, I was excited. I love Kyle Trask. Oh, but yeah, Joel, come on, give us a prediction.
I mean, it'll be Baker just from the age and the maturity of it, but Baker's only a 1-2 year fix, so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing some Trask. And from what I'm hearing from some of the experts in the area, they're saying that Baker's not going to be able to start all 17 games, whether it's injury or just need for rest. So we'll see some Kyle Trask out there. So this will be the first time that we're seeing him like in legit games that matter, not just kind of like your mop-up duty kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Kyle Trask can bring, because his days at Florida were very exciting. I've heard that he's leaned down about 15 pounds this year, so he's a lot lighter. He's a lot more mature. He's been under Brady, which some of that's been good, and now he's away from Brady, so that's good too. So he kind of has this opportunity now to be his own quarterback, to be his own personality. So I'm looking forward to Kyle Trask, and if you asked me, I probably would say let Baker have the starting duty for now and give him a moderately short leash, and then from there let Kyle start, because ultimately I don't think the Bucs are a Super Bowl contender this year, so at some point or another we're going to have to see how Kyle Trask plays. But for right now, I'm going to say Baker's the starter.
Yeah, I think you're looking at this team right now. You got Todd Bowles going into his second year, and you can kind of flip a coin for last year. Some may call it a success. You still won the division. You still went to the playoffs. But you also, on the other side of that coin, you went 8-9.
You grossly underachieved.
With Tom Brady, and grossly underachieved. So I think you got to look at, from Todd Bowles' perspective, what's going to keep my job. And I think probably he will start out going the safe route, which is Baker Mayfield. He's a seasoned veteran. He's got a lot of playing time. But I can't believe I'm saying this because not a Gator guy, but I really want to see Trask start, because I think when you go and invest in a guy, and the Bucs drafted him in the second round.
Yeah.
You want to see that guy eventually play, and you want to see that pick come to fruition, because when they got him, we had Tom Brady, and you go, well, we could have used that guy. We could have used that second-round pick to get somebody else to help Brady win another Super Bowl, but we get Trask. So I want to see Kyle Trask, and I want to see him get his shot. A couple things to note, though. I guess my concern is, and it seems to be kind of like a common trend in the NFL right now, is how well young quarterbacks develop under defensive head coaches. So I was reading this article because I wanted to talk about it, and this goes through just about every rookie quarterback since 2011, based on, and we're going to look at their stats based on if they had an offensive-minded head coach or defensive-minded head coach. And I know Kyle Trask isn't necessarily a rookie, but he has virtually zero playing time. So as far as passing stats, you look at an offensive head coach, 64% completion rating for quarterbacks when their coach is offensive-minded. On the defensive head coach side, rookie quarterbacks were throwing at a 61% completion rating. The yards, about a 15,000-yard differential between offensive-minded and defensive-minded. Touchdowns are pretty close, or right around 1,200. But interceptions, quarterbacks with offensive-minded head coaches threw 100 less interceptions than defensive-minded head coaches. So that's kind of my concern is do we have the right pieces to make sure Kyle Trask is successful? Because, like I said, he barely has any playing time. And what we've known from Tom Brady, he doesn't like to share reps. So we don't know really how much reps he got in the first 2 years. And Bruce Arians' offense is a pretty difficult one. You've seen guys like Ben Roethlisberger. He threw his career-high interceptions his first year under Arians. And I think we all know somebody who threw a lot of interceptions his first year under Arians. So we truly don't know. Kyle Trask, we don't know what we have with them. But Again, I would like to see him be the starter. And one more thing before we get to you, Colby. Something else that to note, as far as the Buccaneers training camp so far, Baker Mayfield has thrown 4 interceptions. 2 of them were today, actually. This is Monday. Kyle Trask has only thrown 1. So you like to see that. And again, I'd like to see him be the guy to take the reins for this season.
Yeah, I think you bring up some good points. First off, I think it's good to hear the stats about the offensive and defensive coaches, because I've always felt that way. Just like as a football fan watching, I always feel like offensive coaches turn out to be more successful. Obviously, there's outliers both ways, but I just think offensive coaches are more likely to be more better collaborators and better at working with the group, and that suits them better for a head coaching role as opposed to defensive people who kind of, I don't know, I've never been in a NFL or college locker room, but I feel like a defensive coordinator, they take a lot of pride in their defense and how they treat their defense, and I think a lot of times defensive head coaches will be kind of blinded by how focused they're on defense, and it'll end up being a very one-sided team. So that makes sense to me. Also, before I get to who I think it'll be, or who I want it to be, I would like to kind of ridicule the Bucs. I do not think they treated Kyle Trask fairly or the right way. I know you have Tom Brady. I know you're a contender, but you have to at least think about the future. You got to give Kyle Trask reps. There's no reason for us to have Ryan Griffin and Blaine Gabbert ahead of Kyle Trask. There was never any reason. Blaine Gabbert currently was not better than Kyle Trask. There was no reason to have 4 quarterbacks, and there was no reason to separate Blaine Gabbert separate Tom Brady and Kyle Trask with Blaine Gabbert. They should have been working together. Trask should have been right next to him, should have been helping them call the offense, do all those things. I do not think it was a wise decision, and I think the Bucs did it out of fear for making Brady angry. But I just don't. It turned out we got a Super Bowl, but it was definitely not the right way to go about Kyle Trask. And so for that, I think he would have been a slam dunk replacement if they had treated him the right way. But now we have to worry about Baker because Kyle Trask doesn't have as much experience. However,
I think that was always the plan from the Bucs standpoint, was that they would draft Trask and he would go under Tom Brady's wing. But Tom Brady is a guy who always liked the older backup, so I think it wasn't so much the Bucs' fault; it was more so just Tom Brady. This is the way I roll.
But the Bucs should have overruled him, man. I mean, there's got to be a point where it's like, unless this was Tom Brady saying, "I will not sign with you, or I will not continue with you if you don't give me a veteran backup quarterback," the Bucs have to use some discernment, man. They got, that's what I think.
And that's kind of why I brought up the whole thing anyways. I was just concerned where it's like, especially looking at the game last year in Atlanta, the Bucs had secured the division. This was in Week 18. And instead of just letting Kyle Trask, instead of letting him loose, you give more than half the game to Blaine Gabbert. And Kyle Trask, he got maybe one drive in garbage time, and that game was basically out of reach. And that's what I bring up. And it's like, is there something that the Bucs are seeing that is wrong with Kyle Trask? Or like I said, is it simply just they don't have the right guys in place to develop him and make sure that he can be successful in the league? And you never want to see a guy not get their chance because of bad coaching. You see that so many times with quarterbacks who come out in the NFL and they barely even get a shot, and when they do, it's garbage time, or they don't have the right coaching staff in place to get it done.
So back to who I think is going to be your Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback. I think week 1 we're going to start off with Baker Mayfield. However, I think Baker Mayfield I just don't think he's a starting quarterback, and he's a long-term option. So I think we're going to have Buccaneers Vikings, Bears Buccaneers, Eagles Buccaneers. After that Eagles game, where the Bucs might be 0-3, hopefully not. Maybe they squeak one out against the Bears. But at Vikings and then at home against Eagles is a very tough too. I think week 4 in the Superdome against the Saints, you see some Kyle Trask. And I would be skeptical. Oh, wait, This happened already. 2019, Felipe Franks goes down. Gators are on the road at Kentucky. This no-name quarterback Kyle Trask comes in. We're done. I don't know what's going to happen. Only just leads a fourth quarter comeback, a double-digit fourth quarter comeback to win the game on the road and propel the Gators into being championship contenders, even though they did not make the playoff. But I'm just saying, Kyle Trask thrives in coming in for a quarterback middle of the season. So maybe if he comes in the middle of the game, we'll have like a comeback just like college. That'd be awesome.
But you want to give him some respect, and you don't want to put him in when there's no hope. I want to see him.
Kyle Trask is your hope, man. That's what it is.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see the season basically be washed or way out of the wild card spot, and then you put in Kyle Trask, and then you see what he can do, because it's just not fair to him, and I want to see him have a chance to get the Bucs to the postseason, or even win this division, man. It's terrible. It's a terrible division.
Well, I think the only way the Bucs make the postseason is winning the division. I think that's a pretty.
It's going to be a worse record than the wild card.
Yeah, I think so. I can see the Bucs doing a 10-7 and winning the division and getting in, though. I really can.
So my defense toward Baker Mayfield is the new offensive coordinator, Dave Canales. I want to say he was the quarterbacks coordinators with the Seahawks last year.
Yeah, he was a quarterback.
And he basically gave Geno Smith a 180. So I think that's part of the expectation for the Bucs this year, is that Dave Canales will completely transform Baker Mayfield into the quarterback he's always supposed to. He's always been projected to be from his days in college. So I'm pretty excited for Baker Mayfield. So I'll kind of change my tune. Like I think if he has a good year this year, we might sign him to like a 2-3 year extension, and it might just be like the kind of the way this Buccaneers era team rides out into the sunset.
Yeah, and kind of whoever's the guy, I want him to be the guy. I don't want
that's true.
To whoever goes in, I don't go, oh well, hopefully they struggle and the other guy comes in. If Baker Mayfield's a guy, I want to see Baker Mayfield succeed, and I want to see this team win. Again, this is like why we're doing this. We're fans of the Bucs. We're not just some unbiased reporters. We are Bucs fans, and we want to see them win. So no matter who it is, I want to see them succeed and do well, and especially under Dave Canales, like you said, Joel. I mean, he turned around Geno Smith. So again, whoever it is, I want to see him succeed. I want to see the Bucs go to the postseason again. It's a plan.
I think everybody in this room would agree the Bucs are going to be better than what ESPN and like Football Fangraphs or whatever.
They have a really good team around the quarterback. It's obviously quarterback is the biggest position in the NFL. We all know that, but they really do have a good team. I think they did a good job this offseason of getting younger and faster, and I just think all position groups are going to improve. Even, honestly, Tom Brady was not that special last year at quarterback, so even quarterback could improve from last year. And I think overall, as Buccaneer fans, we're going to have a lot more of an enjoyable time watching this team. Last year was very frustrating, just the expectations and then the results, going against those expectations. So we'll just have to see. But I think we all have pretty positive expectations for this Buccaneers team.
How are you guys feeling about the head coach? Like, are we feeling good about it? Like,
I'm not.
I mean, my thing is, I feel bad because if you're Todd Bowles, I would not have taken the job. When Bruce Arians stepped down last year, I mean that was late too. That was like March. I mean, you see most head coaching hires are into December, January, stuff like that. So to get hired in March after Arians stepped down, that's a tough role. And then you only really had 1 year with Brady. Then you had the issues of where his disappearance right during camp. I think that played a pretty big role in how their season went. I just think right after that they just kind of spiraled a little bit. So I feel bad in one sense because I think he was put in a really tough position, and now you have to win. And we've looked at the history of the coaches with the under the Glazers. They really only get 2 years. I know we saw Dirk Cutter got 1 year, 1 extra year for going 9-7, and I want to say Raheem Morris got 3 years as well. But just about everybody else has only gotten 2 years. So I feel bad because if that's how it's going to be this year, the pressure's on. But again, it's a tough situation because you lose the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yes, but also Todd Bowles does not have a very good track record.
He does not.
So I definitely think, like, all right, this is a yes or no question. Do the Bucs have to make the playoffs for Todd Bowles to be the coach next year?
I say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no too. I think
yes. I think they're really close to firing him this year. I think they're kind of looking for a reason.
If they finish above 500, I think he's safe.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Joel. I think anything above 500, you keep your job. So I'd say, like, again, you go 9-8, and again, there's just a couple wild card teams that are a little bit better. I honestly think they give him one more year, especially
9-8 is kind of close to me. I think he's got to finish 10-7.
10-7. Then you're talking about making the
postseason. So I guess I
should
change my course.
Yeah, I think, and now it's impossible to go 500 with the added game. So yeah, I think if they go 9-8, and I'd say if Trask or Mayfield look good and they're competitive, like because there can be a really good 9-8 team or a really bad 9-8 team. So I think with this division, how it looks, if you go 9-8,
it's not a terrible schedule. It's not a very tough schedule.
It's not very difficult.
Looking at the hardest games right here, at Vikings week 1, it's a tough game. Eagles at home, tough. I don't know what the Saints are going to look like. Lions at home, could be. Very winnable game though. At Bills, that's tough. At 49ers is tough. But other than that, it's a lot of division opponents. Like Packers on the road doesn't have the same sting to it like it used to. Colts on the road, they're a very young team. And then, Jaguars at home, that's a winnable game, I'd say. The Jaguars could be really good this year. But I definitely think, I would say, I agree with Will. I feel bad for Todd Bowles. I feel bad in the situation he's been put in. It's kind of impossible expectations. However, I do think he has to make the playoffs to keep his job. Not from like my grading standpoint, but from the front office and the expectations of the fan base. I think he will have to make the playoffs this year.
I think for this season, I think this is probably one of his most pressure-free seasons in a way, because when he was in New York, he had to coach under the pressure of being in the New York spotlight and with all the press that comes from New York. And then coming and coaching at Tampa, you have to coach with Tom Brady as basically the head coach, if you know what I mean. Like, it's Brady's way or no way. So this year, he's kind of under the radar. People are expecting the team to lose. So this might be his best chance to kind of turn everything around and say, see, if I'm not under New York press or Tom Brady press, I can do it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because, yeah, the expectations are already pretty low. You've seen, the fans have probably seen a lot of the predictions that have come out, like 5-12 and stuff like that. So again, yeah, you make a good point. You have really nothing to lose, so I guess the pressure really wouldn't be as hard as it has been in the past for him. So, I guess, do we have anything more about the Bucs? I got one. We forgot to mention it. Got some bad news out of Bucs camp. Rookie first-round pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kalijah Kancey, yesterday, which was Sunday, July 30th, went down with an injury, and he was carted off the field. And we don't have a whole lot of information, but losing him, I think, already is a big blow, especially. I know he's a rookie, he's unproven, but we need all the D-line help we can get. If offensive line was our number one problem, defensive line was the second. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Hopefully, by the time this is released, we'll find out more.
Hopefully, it's a calf strain and not a torn Achilles. That's what we're looking at. Same thing. Joe Burrow happened to Joe Burrow. I don't know why we're got Achilles fever around the football, but we're just. They said, I saw a thing that said. They thought it was a calf strain, but they hadn't done the MRI, so hopefully that's true. And he only misses like about a month or a month and a half. Yeah,
they're saying 6 weeks, and from what I heard, he was not technically carted off. He just kind of got into like the front seat of the cart.
All right,
it's like, hey, that's good news.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's positive. We hope to see him this year and hope to see him balling out. So you want to do some predictions? We want to talk a little.
Well, I want to talk about something because we've been on the subject. Football's back, baby. When you're listening this, most likely Wednesday, you will have football the next day. That is right. What day is that, actually? That would be August 3rd, Thursday, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, between the Jets and the Browns. So that's actually kind of that's going to be really cool, especially if we can see. I don't know if we'll see Aaron Rodgers, but
I don't think so.
You see probably a lot of those new faces that the Jets got, and the Browns too. Two teams that have some high expectations. So it's Thursday night on NBC or Peacock if you have the streaming app. And another big thing, we have a Buccaneer who is going to the Hall of Fame. That is Rondé Barber, cornerback, one of I'd say one of the best players to ever put on the pewter. And I mean, Joel, do you agree?
Oh, for sure.
Where would you rank him in as far as all-time Buccaneers? Where's Rondé Barber?
He's
Top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Maybe like somewhere in like the 7 to 5 range.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's impressive when you can go the whole way. Like he was Buck from like 1996 to like 2013.
We love that. We love players that are just around.
Not only is he the best to ever be in pewter, he was the best to ever be in creamsicle. No, wait, he did not have creamsicle. I'm sorry, I missaid that. He started the first year we weren't creamsicle.
Yeah, which that's another thing too. The creamsicle is back, and I cannot wait. The Bucs will wear those uniforms October 15th versus the Detroit Lions. And I don't know about you guys, I'm going to try to make it to that game, even if I have to spend a lot of money, because I want to see those in person. I love the creamsicles. And
They look great, man.
We waited 11
They're
years.
crispy this year.
Yeah, I think they touched up. Somebody took a picture of they just bought a new jersey compared to the old one from 2012, and it looks like they made the orange a little brighter, brighten up the red a little bit, and they just look sharp. And especially the pictures we saw, man. I mean, goodness sakes, those things are crispy, and I want to see them so bad. And I'm a big uniform guy, so I really like seeing teams do that.
I'll wear my Gerald McCoy creamsicle.
Gerald McCoy, Hall of Fame snub?
No.
That's
I still
funny.
hate that guy for he went to the Panthers.
Geraldini?
He's still a Bucs legend, though.
Yeah, he was in a. As far as statistically, he wasn't the best.
Man, I wish he
Defensive
was on the
lineman, but-
Tom Brady teams, man.
Yeah.
I would have loved to win a Super Bowl with Gerald McCoy. He was on such bad teams. Bro.
Yeah, that's his asterisk. He was on some terrible Bucs
Yeah.
teams, so you can't really knock him for that. And
I don't think he's ever been on a good team ever, though.
No,
Because like when he went to the Panthers, they weren't good.
Yeah,
he was on the
they were
he was on the Cowboys for like a year or two, I think, or like
I
half the
think
season.
we beat the Panthers in one of those games, and it was so satisfying.
That's funny. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're gonna start looking ahead. Obviously, like we said, today's Monday, so the trade deadline's tomorrow. There's already been some big ones. Obviously, like Max Scherzer. The Rangers are loading up right now. They did lose.
How about the Angels though?
Yeah, Rangers and Angels are definitely
Surprise trade.
the winners of the deadline. But I mean, we don't have much. I for one would love to see the Angels pass the Blue Jays and get in the wild card. The Rangers are tricky. They just lost Eovaldi, so they're filling holes because they don't have DeGrom or Eovaldi. But I don't know. The Rangers it's kind of one of those teams where it's like you just got to see it in the playoffs, see how it works out for them. They're still young.
Mm-hmm.
But also looking ahead, we got Rays baseball this week. We got 6 games.
Yeah, we got Rays baseball this week. Colby could probably show me the pitching matchups, but Monday, July 31st,
Literally,
the Rays head to the Bronx.
We're literally it's starting like right now.
Yeah,
right?
we're
So,
I think
we're gonna
it's already-
pretend
Here's what we got. We
It's
got
coming
Monday. Monday, we have Tyler Glasnow for the Rays versus Johnny Brito of the Yankees.
Which, Domingo Germán was supposed to pitch today, but he went out with it was shoulder tightness, I want to say.
Yeah.
So
Then we got
Hey.
Tuesday. I'm just gonna burn through.
Yeah,
them.
go through
All right,
them.
Tuesday we got Zach Eflin. Hopefully, unless there's like a setback, versus Carlos Rodon. He's newly off the IL. So I think he's done 3 or 4 starts. Then Wednesday, big boy, Shane McClanahan versus Garrett Cole. Interesting part of that matchup is both these pitchers pitch pretty poorly against these other teams. Garrett Cole tends to be a little leaky against the Rays, and so does Shane McClanahan. But they don't really seem to meet off very much. So that'll be a huge game. I think that'll be one of the better ones of the week. Then we head to Detroit Friday. Apple TV game, guys. Be ready. Yeah, that stinks. Friday, we'll have Zach Littell pitching. Hopefully he'll be stretched out still. Hopefully we can get 5-6 innings from him. That would be awesome. Versus Michael Lorenzen, who probably will not be there, if we're being honest.
Well, no, I saw he packed his bags. He's gone.
Where'd he go?
He didn't get traded, but apparently he was clearing out his dugout or his locker room.
Well, they said I saw a source that said Erod and Lorenzen are most likely gone.
Hopefully to the Rays.
Yeah,
Erod
maybe.
to the Rays, please. And Jake Rogers.
Then Saturday, we have Aaron Civale making his Rays debut versus Ryan Olson. Then Sunday, we will have Tyler Glasnow again versus Tariq Skubal. Someone Will wanted last week. So, we're going to first think about our record and what we think is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we'll do some home run predictions.
So, let's go back to last week. Colby and Joel, you guys predicted the Rays to go 4-1. Predicted them to go 3-2. Although I was wrong about which games they would win and lose. I'm still gonna give myself the dub for that one. 3-2
So
prediction God. That's why.
Now come with the banger.
Yeah. Now I gotta back it up. So I guess I'll go first. I think the Rays win tonight. Not having Jermon pitching. I know he's not the greatest pitcher in the world, but just to not face him should be some motivation for the Rays. So I think the Rays take game 1. As far as the Yankees go, man, it's going to be a battle. I still think the Rays get 2 out of the 3 there. I think they will drop one. I'm not quite sure which one it'll be. So I'm going to say they win 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, and then Tigers, it should be a sweep. I mean, let's be real here. It should be a sweep, but as we've seen in recent months, like the Athletics and the Royals, the Rays have played a little down to the competition, so I think they'll lose a game there as well. And I'm going to say 4-2. The Rays will go 4-2 this week in their road series.
I'm really excited about the Rays right now. I think I'm going to do it. I am going on record to say the Rays will go 6-0 this week.
That would be so huge.
The pitching matchups are in our favor. We're all excited about Civale. I think Garrett Cole, that's a little concerning, but we really do hit good against him. And then Tigers, we should. I'm more worried about losing a game against the Tigers than the Yankees at this moment. So, another stat that I looked up, and if you saw on Instagram, you would have seen I posted it, but the Rays haven't won consecutive games since like June 28th and June 29th. So I think they're going to win tonight, and it's going to be like a weight off their shoulders, and it's going to be like when it rains, it pours, and it's going to flow down, and we're going to go on a winning streak, and we're all going to be happy, and it's going to be awesome. You can go, Joel.
I'm going to go...
Yandy Diaz just got on base, too.
Ooh, I'm going to go 4-2. I'm just going to stay reasonable. You know, I don't think we're going to make any big bat or bullpen on accusations the next 24 hours. So I'm going to say we're going to lose the Eflin game. I think we're kind of running into a little bit of an Eflin skid here. So we're going to take 2 or 3 from the Yankees, lose the Eflin game, and I'm going to say, how do you say this guy's name? Like I should know.
Civale.
I'm going to say we're going to lose the Civale game. I think we're going to
his debut.
I think he's going to have a little bit of a hard transition. I'm just writing the story out for this week. Like that's what I'm seeing. Like, a hard Eflin game again, and Civale has a hard transition game.
All right, we did this last week.
So wait, what was it? What was
4-2, 4-2, 6-0.
All right. Thank you.
I just want to preface before we predict home runs. I predicted Brandon Lowe to get 2. He got 3. I think maybe I should get extra credit, or maybe I should have said 3. But I'm the only one to predict the one right. Jose Siri didn't hit a home run. Randy Arozarena didn't hit a home run. But
Randy Arozarena didn't get a hit.
That's
true.
I
predicted Randy. He did not get.
So we're back, but we're back. It's a whole new week, a whole new opportunity for everyone to predict. So,
I guess I'll go first again. You know what? I liked what I saw with Wander. So I'm gonna get Wander.
Brandon Lowe should hit a 2-run home run.
Dude,
No,
Brandon Lau's hot.
He hit a 2-run home run.
I'm still.
Okay, sorry guys. Live reaction.
I'm still going with Wander. Give me Wander Franco, 2 home runs. Put some money on it.
Dude,
right now.
he's firing all cylinders. All right.
I might still trade him. Like, let's see.
Oh my goodness.
If we could get his contract and get like Pete Alonso and something else from the Mets, like
Guys, this is live. Hey, maybe in the future we'll do like a live show reaction. Because if you guys love this last 5 minutes of us being happy about the Rays game, maybe we'll do this. Let us know.
Maybe we get a phone in here. You can call into the show and give us your opinion on the Bucs.
Yeah, man, maybe.
See.
All right,
call
so,
in 888-546.
all right, I'm gonna go Yandy Diaz. I think he's gonna get a short porch homer in New York, and he's gonna get one in Detroit, so he'll hit 2.
All right. I like being the smartest person in the room, so I'm not gonna pick based on anything more than just my heart. Christian Betancourt is gonna have a home run this week.
I would love to see it.
If Christian Betancourt hits a home run this week, Joel gets like 5 points.
Thank you.
He gets 5 points for being bold.
Yeah, he gets 2 wins for that.
Yeah, that's
Definitely 2
fair
wins.
enough. All right. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. Keep streaming on Spotify. We're going to try to get YouTube. YouTube's being really weird. Maybe Apple Music. I don't know. But Spotify for sure this week. Probably will come out around Tuesday or Wednesday. So, yeah. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, TV3 Sports Talk. I've been going crazy on Twitter right now. So one more thing as we close out. I'm going to end us with some football music because I am excited. Don't forget to watch Thursday Hall of Fame game and fire the cannons, get them going.